This is Vampire. I've been watching a lot of Jim Cornette videos, so I decided why not talk about one of the um, one of the videos that he's made, and this was it. This is the one that caught my eye: the Muhammad Ali versus Antonio Inoki match that he talks about. Yeah, this was a big match back in the day, at least in Japan. I don't know how well known it was over here in the West. I don't think it was that well known, but in Japan, you know, at least at the time, it was huge. So this was a mixed martial arts match, meaning style versus style. A professional wrestler versus one of the all-time greatest, most famous athletes ever, who happens to be the world boxing heavyweight champion, Muhammad Ali. Yeah, in this matchup right here, a little bit about Antonio Inoki. Inoki is a guy, to put it simply, he's very opportunistic. So he has the proper training, the catch ass catch can to be a wrestler that can actually shoot fight. He could put you in all kinds of holds, submissions, and he understood the science of that. But that being said, he more than anything was an opportunistic guy. So he wanted to make his name big. He was always the number two guy. So even though he was trained by the father of Japanese professional wrestling, Rikidozan, Inoki was number two under Giant Baba, who was the guy that came before him, and that was the guy that was gonna be like Japan's Hulk Hogan, so to speak. And Inoki was sick and tired of that, and he was always looking for ways to get the number one spot, to grab it. And he even challenged Baba and stuff, but it's just like in Japan that was considered taboo. So it's very traditional over there, and they wouldn't allow it. And he was like, "Damn it! How else can I make my name big?" And so this is what he thought of, was doing. Hey, let me do this match right here with Muhammad Ali, and this way people cannot deny my existence. I'll be the number one guy in Japan. So even if he doesn't win, just by having this match, he was like, man, this is going to be huge. This would be great for my career. So there was a lot on the line for Inoki, and this would take him to world level, right? So, like Jim Cornette says, they offered Muhammad Ali like what, $7 million, huge money at the time. I don't remember the exact numbers, and to come over and do a worked match. And of course, they didn't tell the public it was going to be worked. And back then, no one knew, at least the public did not know that professional wrestling was worked, that it was a sport entertainment. So anyway, I am pretty sure that was their plan. I don't know if they planned to make it go to a draw, or how exactly the ending was going to be, but I'm sure it was scripted out, right? And then somewhere along the lines, it turned into a shoot, and that's where Jim Cornette mentions that it at first it was a worked, but then it turned into a shoot, and he doesn't really go into why. So I'm here to kind of speculate on that why. And like I said, Mr. Inoki is a very opportunistic guy, from what I gather, watching the interviews and also reading his book, and hearing other professional wrestlers talk about him, interviews and whatnot. He is that kind of guy that it could rub people the wrong way if you're so ambitious and opportunistic. And I like I said, he has the tools to be a legit, very good fighter, but I think he relied more on just seizing the chance. And to him, this was a great chance to do it. And I think the Muhammad Ali side also saw that, and they were like, yeah, this is a great money opportunity, but at the same time, can we trust this guy? This guy's so opportunistic. And if this guy decides, you know what, I'm just gonna take him out. If Inoki does that, then you know Inoki will be even bigger. So why wouldn't he do that? So from that point of view, just from a business point of view, they couldn't trust him, and the pressure. People have no idea, like I do. I wouldn't either, but I can only imagine the amount of pressure that you would have tr- to compete in something like this, where your whole career is on the line, your name's on the line, and this could really really propel you to another level, and whatever. The pressure is huge, and so that they are about to do this, and even though Muhammad Ali is used to um, world championship bouts, nothing like this. This is different, and yeah, so the Ali side put on all these rules saying you can't stand and kick, you can't do this, you can't do that, and there were a ton of rules that were honestly ridiculous, but I think it was more so to protect Muhammad Ali, not so much to make Muhammad Ali win, but to protect him. And on the other hand, with Inoki's side, he also couldn't trust. He had heard that maybe they would put the gloves would be loaded. So he was like, man, if he's gonna have something in his glove that if he even grazes me, it could be damaging. He doesn't even need a full shot. That this could be really damaging to me. So, the amount of pressure, the amount of what's at stake, all that was huge, and so I think that's why it turned into a shoot match where they both wanted the payday. They both knew, hey, we're gonna do it. And that 7 million, it's not like it came out of Inoki's pocket. That 7 million comes from all these different places. So he's put in a position where if he doesn't carry through with this fight, he's going to be in big trouble. And I don't know if the Yakuza are involved, but like I said, the money's coming from a lot of different places. And Japan is very traditional, and they're not forgiving about this kind of stuff. So you borrow that kind of money, you're going to have to do good on your word. So he's expected to fight. He better fight his heart out, kind of thing, and he better do well. And so that was the position Inoki was put in. He put himself in there. He wanted it. So my understanding is he's also he's a gambling man, and this is a very gambling type of match, very high stakes. So, you know, they both understood that, look, we're both going to get paid tremendously. This could both be good for our careers, possibly. Maybe not so much Muhammad Ali, but at least the payday. And then to do this, they both understood that they can't trust each other. So they're not trying to beat the other guy, I feel like, but they're more like, I can't trust this other guy. So I just don't want to lose, kind of thing. So it turned into that kind of match that it became. And then, of course, after the match, it was considered, at first it was supposed to be the greatest match of the century, ended up being called the most boring match of the century in the Japanese newspapers. That was the headlines all over the next day. Inoki was heartbroken, like heartbroken. He said the money put him in tremendous amount of debt. I believe, if I remember correctly, he was in big trouble and all that. And he was like, I'm screwed. But then, as far as a competitor and all that, Muhammad Ali was super nice to him afterwards, and gave him his theme song and all this kind of stuff. So he felt great about that. But the money part, the business part, he was like, I am done here. I just ruined my career. Well, then what happened was he started getting phone calls from other martial arts people, like judo guys and other boxers, and so that kind of like it set up. I don't think he necessarily thought I'm going to have a career doing mixed martial arts matches, but because he's a professional wrestler, that's what he does. But it turned into, hey, I could do this, and all of a sudden this became really really hot in Japan. It was the new wind coming in. It was something new, something different, and the public ate it up to the point where Giant Baba was like, "Oh, we better do something like this." And there's one match where he tries to have Giant Baba tries to have a mixed martial arts match, and that in itself is very interesting. I really like it, but if you compare it to other mixed martial arts matches, worked mixed martial arts matches at the time, it's just not on the level. And Giant Baba, it's not his personality. He's not an opportunistic kind of guy. They both have the Carl Gotch type training, so they can do catch as catch can wrestling. But Giant Baba was definitely it's just some people are born like fighters, and he's not that kind of fighter. Let me put it that way. So it's just a totally different kind of person. And but anyway, so that it ended up saving Mystery Inoki. And not just that, then the next thing that happened in New Japan was the birth of Tiger Mask. And so, according to Mr. Antonio Inoki, he says we go into the golden age of New Japan professional wrestling over there, where they were just so hot, they were on fire. But anyway, so yeah, that's it for now. I hope that was interesting for you guys. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.